Today, I will show you how to play like the great band AC/DC. I will show you 3 songs by them, 1 riff per song. If you like the sound of these songs and how you are playing them, please drop a comment below and I could do a full video on these songs. But for now, we will just learn 1 riff per song so you get an idea of how to play these extremely fun songs by the great band. We'll be covering Back in Black, Riff Raff and Thunderstruck. So grab your guitar, let's go. Back in Black, riff number 1. So this riff serves as the intro and the verses. You've got some power chords and then a little lick. Then you've got the same power chords again, followed by a different lick. Now, it's a very recognizable riff and fun to learn. So let's get stuck in. Power chords. This is E5. You place your first finger across the 2nd fret over the A and the D strings, but you are going to play an extra string to the fretted notes. The open low E string here. Just those 3 notes. D5 is the next chord. Now you can hold a D chord, an open D major chord, if that is more familiar shape for you. Except you don't want to play this note here, which is F sharp, because that is not in the D5 chord. We're aiming to just hit the D, the G, and the B strings. That is chord number 2. Chord number 3 is the same as chord number 1, but you bring your first finger down 1 string, vertically down, and your right hand will match as well, so you will play from the A string, A, D, and G. That is A5. So you got 3 chords, E5, D5, and A5. Right, now the strumming for this, with your right hand, 1 strum on the E5, and then stop the strings. Change to the D5, and there's 3 down strums, and stop the strings. Then we come up to the A5, and it's 3 quick strums again, stop the strings. So that together is... Right, now comes the first fill, or the first lick. So I'm using my 2nd finger, pulling off the 3rd fret on the high E to the open string. Then repeating that again, the string above, the B string. Now, use your 1st finger to play this note here, which is an A. We're going to bend it, so it's fret 2 on the G. We're going to bend it up. Then release, then pull off. That together is... Okay, so that's our first line completed. Now, the 2nd line starts off exactly the same with the power chords, but the fill is different. Now, I'm using a very, very important technique here called 1 finger per fret. Starting it with my 4th finger on fret number 7. This is all across the low E string. Now, if we're allocating 1 finger per fret, so your 3rd finger would play anything on the 6th fret, 2nd finger anything on the 5th, and your 1st finger on the 4th. It's probably easier if I say it in terms of finger numbers now. So this riff, it's more like an exercise. We go 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4. 1 frets, 7-4, 7-5, 7-6, 7-7. So how does that connect with the power chords to start with? You'll notice the gap is shorter than in the first line, which was 2, 3. I use different finger numbers there. Huh. So I said use your second to your first, because then your first finger is right there in alignment to go back. Some people may use their third finger to second. They find the second finger easier to do that bend maybe than their first, and then come back to the first. Okay, that is Back in Black. I just possibly had the friendliest delivery driver I've ever had in my life. And all he was delivering was some hooks. Some hooks that you put on the back of your driver's seat so that you can hang stuff up in the back. This is one of these Sunday night purchases, I call them, where you're just kind of, you had the whole weekend, back to work or whatever the next day, and do you ever do it? Just me, probably. eBay, Amazon, ASOS, you name it. Pointless purchases. Hooks on the back of my driver's seat. I mean, how did I get to that point? Anyway, I just had the most friendliest driver ever, and puts a smile on your face. Here we go. Riff Raff. Riff number 2. So... By this point, we're probably getting used to this type of chord, power chord. This time we're starting with the A5, which if you remember from the previous riff, is not E5, it's not D5. If I'm playing them in order of Back in Black, it's the third one, A5. So my first finger is fretting the 2nd fret D and G, and I'm playing that extra string above it, the open A string. Just those 3 strings together. So, we're playing that 3 times. I'm not talking too much about timing and rhythm and such in these videos. These are just meant to be mini kind of taster videos, just to see if you like the song and just kind of get you playing. I'm not really talking about beat numbers and ties and such. So we're playing that 3 times. Then the rest of the riff is all single notes. Now again, like Back in Black, this part, I'm using 1 finger per fret for the whole entire riff, because it makes sense. We have 4 fingers, so why not? Less movement means less kind of string noise as well. So we're starting on the A string, it's an open A. Then I'm playing fret number 3, which is my 2nd finger. Then fret number 4. So those 3 notes on the A string. Then we move down to the D string for 2 notes, fret 2 with my 1st finger, and fret 4 with my 3rd finger. So far we have... Right, now we have our first pull off of this riff. And again, if you remember, we had them in Back in Black. This one is on the A string, so we've come back up to the A string. We're pulling off fret 3 to 0. Right, only a little bit left. 4th finger is going to play fret number 5, which is its allocated fret on the D string. And that is it. And then 2nd finger, a bit of a stretch, but you can take that off and come back. That same pull off, 3-0 on the A string. That is it. Riff Raff. As I mentioned, I'm not really going to talk about these songs in a lot of detail or depth. These are just your mini taster lessons to see if you like it, and then you can carry on and learn the rest of the song either on your own, or you can book an online lesson with me, or I can do a full version video of any of these 3 songs. Thunderstruck. The main riff is on the B string. Now it starts off moving in 2 positions, then it moves a little bit further, but I'm not going to show you that part. I'm just going to show you this first bit. The song has an incredibly epic and long build-up intro. I think possibly they probably use this as one of their opening songs, although I could be wrong. It starts in 16th notes, which essentially means you can fit 16 notes into a bar, evenly spaced. You're alternating between a fretted note and an open string. Forgetting the very first note that you can see at the beginning there, the 0, which is right at the end of its own inclusive bar, I'm going to start with the 4, and I'm going to start by picking down. Down with our first finger on fret 4, then we're going up with the 0, then we're using our 4th finger to go down on fret 7, and then we're going up on the 0 again. So our right hand is alternating down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and it never leaves that pattern either. Again, this is quite important that we're counting. That is 16 notes, but in a bar that essentially has 4 beats, we would name that and label these notes rhythmically as 1, E, and A. And it says A at the end, but that's just a small A. 1, E, and being the plus sign, A, and a small A. 1, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. 3, E, and A. 4, E, and A. That's how we can count through a bar evenly in 16th notes. The pattern moves from here, 4 and 7, just across 1 fret, up the neck to 5 and 8. And as you can see, it's the same thing again. There's always that open B string in the middle of the 2 fretted notes. And that was 1 bar of that. Now, if we go back to that lonely open B string right at the start, you may have guessed by now, but that's going to be on an upstroke. With the alternate picking, we follow suit and we hit that 4 down. So we're going up for the very first stroke, the very first note even. If you watch the live, not the live video, if you watch the official video of this, some reason he's not actually playing any notes with his right hand. It's all hammer-ons. Like that. In a way, I think that's kind of easier to play. But if you listen to the recordings, he is quite clearly using a plectrum and playing it this seemingly manual way, now that I've shown you this way. And so on. All right, good luck, guys.